Okay, so the match. So this is the World Wrestling Federation Royal Rumble review of 1990. So the opening match was the Rougeau brothers versus the Bushwhackers. Lots of back and forth, some pretty good wrestling for that era. But the Bushwhackers got the victory after their running headbutt knocked over Jacques, and they got the 3. Next match, after a backstage on Ted DiBiase and Virgil, where Virgil said nothing, as usual, was the Genius versus Brutus Ababa Beefcake. Yeah, it wasn't a good match. It was a bit boring, really. The highlight of the match came in the end, because the match ended in a double disqualification, and Mr. Perfect came in and, well, beat the tar out of Brutus Ababa Beefcake with lots of rib shots, with a very, what looked like, hard chair. It didn't look like the ones we have years recently. It looks quite bad. So far so good. That match was pretty poor, to be honest, but so far so good. Next match was what I consider the match of the night, the submission match between Greg Hammer Valentine and Rugged Ronnie Garvin. Okay, admittedly, there's lots of pinfalls and it's submission only, but it was a really, really hard-hitting, at times brutal match. And I thought, for that era, pretty underrated. Lots of shenanigans from Jimmy on the outside, as you would expect. But, yeah, Ronnie Garvin with the victory. And a good victory, I might add. The next match was a bit of a grudge match between the Big Boss Man and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Again, pretty good match for that era. You got to understand the 90s at that point were on the cusp of, you know. So, yeah, it was an okay match. It was all right, but it was a bit. I mean, the Big Boss Man at one point did a enziguri, which I thought was just flipping amazing for someone his size, and then Hacksaw was just ooh. So yeah, Hacksaw won by DQ after the Big Boss Man hit him straight in the face with his police baton. And then the main event of the evening, the 30-man over the top rope Royal Rumble. It had some good points. Ted DiBiase lasted nearly an hour, more or less, so that was pretty good. There's some matches at Mania that came from this. Piper and Bad News Brown basically brawled all the way after eliminating each other, all the way to the back. There were some interesting matches, like about, I think, 8 people got rid of, as he was then, the Canadian Earthquake. And then at one point, Warrior got eliminated by, well, it looked like Hogan, but I don't think it was. But then it may have been. Sort of a bit of heelish antics there from the Hulkster. And then it came down to the final 3, which was Rick Rude, rest in peace, right? Mr. Perfect and Hogan. And unfortunately, Hulk Hogan won again. Well, that was his first win, but so it was a bit deflating, personally. I mean, Hogan was Hogan in those days, but never really been a bigger fan of his, to be honest. I've always been a Warrior, but Yeah, so that was the Royal Rumble. Overall, I'd probably give it a 6. Some good moments. Commentary from Jesse the Body Ventura was top class. Tony Schiavone, though, just didn't feel right listening to him talking about the World Wrestling Federation. But yeah, overall, so that's my latest review. I'm not going to be doing things mainly. I'll be doing things mainly about the past. I'm not going to talk much about what's going on at the moment because it's boring me, to be perfectly honest. And I like talking about the stuff that I watch. So that is this review. And yeah, I'll see you at ringside.